Hey, it's real nice to see you. Welcome to this episode of Barlow BBQ. Now today I've got a pork tenderloin that I'm going to do for you, and I'm going to do that on my Weber Jumbo Joe. That's just the right size for this little tenderloin that I've got. Now I'm going to give that tenderloin a little bit of smoke, and then we're going to finish it off with a sear over the coals. Now I do want to apologize in advance. It's a little breezy here today in Florida, and we have some construction going on next door. So if the audio is a little noisy today, I do apologize, but I hope that it's not going to be too much of a problem for you guys at home. Well, all right, I think today's cook is going to be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So tell you what, I'm going to go inside and grab a beer. I'm going to grab the tenderloin, and let's get it prepped and ready to go on the grill. Well, all right, cheers, y'all. Got my beer right here. Take a little sip. Well, the sun decided to come out, so that's nice, but that wind is picking up. So again, apologies if that's interrupting the audio at all. So here's our pork tenderloin. Now, a couple things to note. I did brine this, okay? I had this in a brine for about 3 hours. I just used 6 cups of water with about 3-4 tablespoons of some kosher salt. If you're using regular table salt, you're gonna only need about a tablespoon or 2 of that. I took it out of the brine and got some paper towels, and I patted it dry all over. And then I brushed on some olive oil, just a little bit of olive oil all over this tenderloin, okay? Now, like I always say, you're free to use whatever rub or seasoning is your favorite. But as for today, I'm gonna keep it real simple. I'm just gonna use a little bit of some rub from Uncle Steve Shake. This is handmade in Sienna, Texas. And Uncle Steve was kind enough to send us a box of a variety of different seasonings and rubs that he has. We've been trying them out, and they are great. And what I'm going to use on this tenderloin today is this sweet and spicy Uncle Steve shake right here. It's the original recipe for his original shake with a little sweet and spicy thrown in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this shake on this tenderloin. And this particular shake is like a fine powder, so it's perfect for this kind of cook, since we're going to be searing it later. If you're using anything that's got some coarse seasonings in it, that stuff is just going to burn. Okay, we got this side. We'll go ahead and flip it over just like that, and we'll get this other side right here with this Uncle Steve's sweet and spicy shake. I really want to thank you, Uncle Steve, for sending us this. All those rubs, all those seasonings you got, really good. Oh, and by the way, if you'd like to order yourself some of this Uncle Steve shake, just go to unclesteveshake.com. I'll have a link right below this video in the description box, so you can pop on over there and get yourself some of this awesome seasoning. All right, I think this tenderloin is looking pretty good. Maybe just need a little bit right here on the edge. Get them edges. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and slip this back into the fridge while I get the Weber Jumbo Joe set up and I get the charcoal fired up for that. So I will meet you out at the grill when that's ready to go, and we can get this tenderloin on the grill. Hey, cheers, y'all. We've got this Jumbo Joe fired up, and let's take a look at the setup here real quick. So I've got all my charcoal in the back here, and that's actually in a nice little charcoal basket that fits perfectly for this Jumbo Joe. It's called a Slow and Sear, and I'll have a link to it right down below in the description box if you'd like to get one for yourself. Now, to get this going, I got a chimney starter. I filled that about halfway with charcoal and lit that, and that's what we're working with. This is plenty hot, so it really isn't going to take much time at all for this pork tenderloin to finish up. And right here I've got a few little chunks of some pecan wood. I think that's going to go great. It's hot. Don't try this at home, folks. Woo! All right, we've got the pecan wood in there. Get this covered up. We'll just give this a minute to let that smoke start rolling, and I'll be right back with the tenderloin. Okay, I've got the tenderloin out of the fridge, and this is ready to go on the grill. And what I'm going to do with this tenderloin, I'm going to go ahead and set this on the indirect part of the grill, on the opposite side of those coals there. And I'm going to let this smoke until it hits an internal temp of around 115 to 118. And then I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to sear it over here, over the coals, to finish it off until we get a temp of about 140 degrees. I don't think it's going to take long at all for it to come up to that 118 before we sear it. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this up. Like I said, this Jumbo Joe is fired up pretty hot, so I'm thinking it's going to take maybe 15 to 20 minutes max for this tenderloin to be ready to sear. So let's come back in about 10 minutes. We'll flip over the tenderloin, we'll do a little temp check and see where we're at. This tenderloin has been on for 10 minutes, so let's check it out here. Flip this over. Let's get a temp check on this. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, it's showing 120 already, so yeah, I think at this point there's no need to let it go any further, because we are looking for a final temp of 140, so we're close already. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the lid off and give this charcoal about 5, maybe 10 minutes to let it get going again. I want this nice and hot so we can sear off this tenderloin and finish it up. So I'll meet you back here when it's time to sear. Okay, it's been a few minutes and I think that this charcoal is ready to go. And really, it hasn't been on here that long anyways, maybe 20 minutes at the most. So it's still got a lot of life left in it, and I think we're ready for the sear. And it's not going to take very long at all because this grill is hot. Again, I'm going to try my best to hit around 140. Chances are I'll probably overshoot it because that's the way it goes, especially when I'm making a video. All right, so here we go. All right, got a little sear going here, and I'll give it maybe 30 seconds to a minute on this side before I flip it. I came around to the other side of the grill here, a little easier to get access to this tenderloin and a little bit better for you guys to see at home, you guys and girls. So let's go ahead and, yeah, there we go. Okay, watch out, watch out. We got a little burnt going on. Well, that's not burnt, that's flavor right there. So maybe we won't give it quite as long as on the other side. Maybe about 30 seconds before we flip it. But it's really not going to take too long for this to finish up. All right, we got 132 in the middle there. Real close. Okay, let's flip it over here. That's a little bit better there. Let's get the edges here. Let's not forget about those. Get this side just a little bit longer there. Let's see where we're at. Okay. About the same. Let's give it a flip here. There we go. Let's do it this way. And let's see what we got going on here. Showing 136. We got 142 towards the edge where it starts to taper off a bit. So these ends I'm sure are done. We're just waiting for this middle section to finish up, but we are very close. Quick little flip right here. Okay. It's not looking too bad, y'all. Let's get a little temp check here right in the middle. Oh yeah, 145. This is coming off. All right, let's get this off of here. We're going to set it right here, down here. And we'll just let that rest for 5 minutes. It doesn't need very long. We'll slice into it and then give it a taste check, taste test. Okay, this tenderloin has been resting for a total of 5 minutes. Really didn't need that much time. And I am really hoping that I didn't kill this tenderloin. Only one way to find out. Let's slice right down here in the middle. Let's check it out. It doesn't look too bad. Still got a little juicy in there. Okay, so not completely dried out. Remember, I overshot my temp by a little bit. I wanted 140. I think it was around 145 when I actually pulled it. Okay, let's get a couple more slices here. Let's take a look at one of these end pieces now. So this is where it tapered off, much thinner, but I can still see a little bit of juice coming out of there. So hey, not too bad. I think this is going to be pretty good. I just need to take a thumbnail and then I'll meet you up top for a taste test. All right, y'all, I'm excited to try out this tenderloin. And once again, I'd like to give a special thanks to Uncle Steve for sending us all those delicious rubs. And we used the sweet and spicy rub, and you can get your own at UncleSteveShake.com. All right, let's give this tenderloin a try. I think there's a crow up here who would like a piece. That's real good. It's not completely dried out. Still has some life left in it. I'm gonna tell you what, this Uncle Steve's sweet and spicy rub is real good on this tenderloin. Definitely has a kick to it. I'm a fan of spice, so that's all right. Nice little sweetness, not too much though, which I do appreciate that. You just need a little bit of sweet to go with that heat. And Uncle Steve, you nailed it with this blend. Really good for this tenderloin. I'm gonna take another bite. Flavor on this is great. Wonderful. That's real good. Now you of course can use a glaze or a sauce if you'd like, but for me, you know, I tend to prefer to go sauceless most of the time when it comes to barbecue and stuff I do on the grill. I like a little bit of seasoning, and I like the meat and the smoke to speak for itself. But that's just me. There's no right or wrong when it comes to barbecue, all right? And don't let anybody else try to tell you otherwise. Well, that's going to do it for me today. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I love you, and until next time, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Bye-bye.